record on recording in progress. Welcome, Coral, and welcome, Team Babe. How are we today?
We are fantastic. How are you, Coach Garrett?
I am having a wonderful weekend where I am watering my roots. I am leaning into some rest and some family and reading and planning. So it wasn't about the doing, it was more about the being this weekend, and it feels good.
That's awesome.
How about you? You had a triathlon this weekend?
Yeah, we had a bunch of babes that raced the Tarpon Springs Tri yesterday and got looped into a last minute relay with two babes and a beard. We had a
Two
lot of
babes and a
fun.
beer.
Yeah. So
That's
it was a good time.
Well, great. Well, we're just going to give, the team basically a quick introduction to what this breathwork thing is all about and to what this kind of monthly challenge is all about. So, first things first, just out of the gate, breathwork isn't what you think it is. And it isn't what you think it is, regardless of the angle that you're coming from, right? Breathwork is many, many things. And the way I like to describe it, it's the lowest hanging fruit of things that you can do that is healthy for you. And what I mean by that of low hanging fruit is your breath is the only mechanism in the body that we basically have conscious control of and unconscious control of. And so, because of that, we in theory can hack into our nervous system, which means we can go back into that being mode, like I discussed it. I needed to activate my parasympathetic nervous system this weekend. So, my breath, my rest, the way I spent my time was very intentional. Doesn't mean I didn't move. I still hit my movement requirements. I did those things, but I used breath in such a way that would help me recover. And that recovery can also do things like boost your heart rate variability and lower your resting heart rate and do all of these other wonderful things that will lead towards performance in triathlon. So, yes, it is a physiological thing, but it is also a thing that can help mental health, right? I don't care who you are, what walk of life you're coming from. We're in some kind of crazy times, and many people are suffering from what I call overexcitement. I don't like to say the A word, which is anxiousness or anxiety, because really what is going on is people are overstimulated. They're overexcited. So breath is a wonderful thing that we can do that can help us get out of that state of overexcitement, and that it can also lower those stress levels and kind of bring us back to that baseline. And when we're at that baseline, it's much easier to have good mental health. Again, I've been a coach for 20 years, and even my own waistline is directly tied to my mental health. People can pay for training sessions, they can sign up for all the best programs, coaching, and whatever. But if things aren't right on the inside, I don't think those results are going to follow. So, breath work to me is also very important for us to find that mental health space. And then lastly it is that tool of conscious thought. It can kind of walk you down that spiritual pathway. It is an opportunity for you to get out of executive function and that overthinking and overstimulating thing and get more into your subconscious. So this allows people to process trauma, whether that's capital T trauma or lowercase t trauma. It really allows that space for people to reflect and to kind of get out of that go mode, which many of us are very stuck in these days. So, wanted to give you a general overall, just kind of like, hey, breath work is a lot of things. And that's exactly why I built a course in this way, is that each day of the course is designed to go over a specific breath, when you would use it, how you would use it, why would use it, and then you practice it. Right. It's exactly the way that we learned things. And I know you're a big fan of Atomic Habits. I've seen you share it very frequently in the Team Babe group. And that's exactly what this challenge is designed to be about. There's 30 videos, it's 30 days. If you want to form basically a personal growth practice where you focus on you and learning how to breathe and be more efficient and learn how to control your nervous state and return your emotions and improve your performance and improve your mental health and yada, 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 I think it's worth it. And so these videos are roughly about 15 or 20 minutes a day. Some are a little longer, some are a little shorter. Depends on how much of my soapbox I get on in a given day. But they're all designed for you to feel something. And you feel this state change, and you begin to learn that your breath is like a remote control to your nervous system, a remote control to the state that you want to have. And when breath is tied to a conscious thought, a lot of magical things can happen. That was a pretty long-winded overview. Did I hit most of the key points there, Coral?
All of that is amazing. Something else that I had a few questions about
Okay.
that maybe you could answer. What are the performance gains that we could possibly see as a result of developing a breath habit?
Absolutely. That is a wonderful question. And it's everything from upregulation, especially before the swim component of triathlon. I think if you are not doing breath work before you hit that water, I think you are missing out significantly. So there is a day specifically in the program that is called Breathe to Perform. And there's also one called Breathe to Move. And I talk about all the different ways that you can use your breath specifically for that. But that situation again is I've done a few swimming events and you get into that line, you're cold, there's a bunch of fit people, your body judgment issues are kicking in, your fight or flight's coming in, you're uncomfortable when you're on that beach getting ready to get into that water, right? So if you can learn to kind of step into that fight or flight by bringing your breath up, expanding and holding the inhales, and then kind of letting things go and slowing it down and finding the exhale on the back end. I like to describe it as you start the fire and then you pour water all over it. So you're choosing excitement and then you're saying, nah, I'm excited, but I'm cool. Like, I got this. I'm ready to go. I'm about to be a drop of water when I hit that water. And that's also where I call it find your breath, because the idea is you learn these different breaths and you stream it together what works for you. Yes, I figured out some things, just like workouts, right? There's certain rules that are good to follow, but ultimately you have that instinctive way that you need to move or what your body needs. You begin to learn that with your breath. And then your intuition rises, your ability to be present in the moment, your ability to downshift in between transitions in triathlon is a big one as well too. Like even when you stop and you get water, it's hard to drink sometimes if your heart rate's all the way in zone 3 or zone 4. So learning how to use 3 Huberman breaths, it's basically a sigh of relief on steroids. You get your lungs all the way inflated, and then can you just exhale and soften? This slows down your respiration. It also slows down your heart rate. So I know Whitney's done a little bit of this stuff too. And she always talks like, oh my God, it worked. My heart rate came down like 20 beats. And that's exactly the point. If your heart rate comes down 20 beats, what happens to that story in that transition as well too, right? Instead of, oh, I'm dying, I need to take a break, I need to walk. Now you're really focused on being present. What I can do is slow down my breath and I can go back to the story that I've programmed with this race. Because again, breath tied to conscious thought. I've had a lot of success with some of these ultra marathon kind of people like Shelly swimming across Tampa Bay or Joella with Javelina, is you use your breath and you visualize the success. I know you do a lot of this stuff with your coaching as well too, but if you have this routine in your habit, you begin to use your breath every time you come to that break, you come back to that place you want to be. So again, a long-winded answer to a question about how can you expect those performance gains. To me, it's all about helping you be present, to choose the state, to choose the story, and then also after training, the opportunity again to downshift and get into your parasympathetic nervous system. I can't say enough about that. Is again with the overexcited and our stress levels, if you do a long training event, your heart rate's going to stay elevated for a long period afterwards. If you work some breath holds and you slow down your breath, you're going to work on improving your relationship with carbon dioxide, which then improves your ability to perform with aerobic exercise. But it also shifts your nervous system to go, hey, I'm in recovery mode. So if you go into recovery mode right there, now you can take on more the next day. Another tagline I frequently use is maximize gain and minimize strain. Breathwork can help you do that, not only through all your training, but all day, really.
That all sounds awesome. How do we engage with the find your breath in 30 days?
Yeah. And again, the initial sign up thing is, I know that can be kind of confusing. He says it's free and it's 30 days, but it's asking me for a credit card. And then now I have this code. And, if you're not technologically advanced, it all seems, a little scary. You do have to put your card in to start an account. But again, I'm giving tremendous value in this membership. Use it for 30 days. I want people to know about this breathwork stuff because it's really helped me and it's something that I'm very passionate about. And it's kind of like the way that I view that I can help the world is I dare anybody to come do that in 30 days and cancel it. I hope that you do that. You will not offend me. There's also other workouts and so much more in there. So I don't think it's too much to ask for that. And then again, we're offering a 15% discount for Team Babe if they do an annual membership. So that's the salesy side of it. The real side and just the engagement part is when you're accountable to someone, if you just post in the group, like I watched day one, I felt really calm afterwards, or I liked this part of the video, or I liked the music, just your ability to connect that felt sensation and to share it in the group, that gives you a little dopamine hit. It gives the whole group a dopamine hit. It makes us all want to kind of get on there and be accountable. So I'd love just to hear your feedback. I'm going to actively be in there to answer questions, as well as, I'm very active on social media too. If anybody has questions, I'm here to answer it. So it's as easy as getting into the site, watching a video. If you get a day behind, so what? You can watch a couple in a day. I've had a lot of people kind of like binge watch it where they do like an hour of breath work and then they don't do it for a few days. Again, that's why it's called Find Your Breath. And that's why I give you that ramp up phase to kind of check it out. Ideally, you'll be real engaged in this challenge, but the opportunity is for you to find your own path with it as well.
Awesome. Sounds good. I've started the 30 days probably 3 or 4 times, but I'm also going to commit to getting all the way through it. So I'm excited.
It's hard to do anything 30 days.
I know. We've got a lot of stuff going on, but I've worked with you a lot on many of these techniques just in our own, coaching and training. And I can't tell you what a difference it's made. So it's going to be good to just get reacquainted with all of that. So the more formal side, like how people engage with the challenge, we've got the Facebook Messenger chat group. So it's within the Team Babe.
Yeah, there's Facebook like a little group. Sidebar kind of.
Yeah, and there's a little chats tab. So anybody can hop in the chat and just post anything, your thoughts, takeaways from the day, or anything like that. So,
and again, that's something that's commonly practiced in breath work is if I'll take somebody through a breath work session, I'll always ask them a real simple question. How do you feel afterwards? Right. And, I don't know how often people actually take in those check-ins, and oftentimes our emotional language is kind of stuck to mad, sad, and glad. So, if you give yourself that opportunity to put a little emotional language on your feeling state, or when you have that little bit of space, the things that come up, like to me, that's part of the practice. And why I talk about Move, Breathe, Create is ultimately if you did your training for triathlon and you spend a couple minutes just downshifting and getting into a practice, that's ideal because now you're going to feel like the best version of you. And that's the prime opportunity to reflect, to continue to work on personal growth, or to fill up your cup and go give it to your loved ones, your work, or whatever it is you're passionate about. Awesome. You want to do a couple minutes of breath just for a real quick example of how you can kind of get it dialed in?
Sure.
Let's do it.
All right.
So first things first, just kind of wiggle out, get the cilies out, kind of shake through the body, snake through the body a little bit, and find a little dignity in your posture, specifically in your spine. And as you find that dignity in your spine, begin to feel for your breath in the low breathing space. Not an idea of controlling or judging the breath, but can you feel your lungs expand? Ideally, this is starting low in the belly. The diaphragm contracts and goes down. The belly expands up. And the exhale is truly passive. Can it be just nice and light? It softens, the pelvic floor softens. You invite that inhale again, back in through the nose. The belly rises. And can you invite it to come a little bit higher up your spine? And again, the exhale is truly passive. Give it back to the body. Soften the body. That next inhale, can you breathe it in again? The belly rises And breathe into your rib cage, your gills, your side. Even if you bring your hands to your sides, can you try to make those muscles move on the inhale and then soften on the exhale? You can feel how your posture can even get a little bit lighter. Again, the inhale starts nice and low at the base of the spine, belly rises, rib cage begins to rise and flare out. Breath can even rise into the chest. And then again, the exhale happens. It softens, the body softens. So go ahead and continue to bring that breath just a little taller, a little more full with each successive inhale. I like to describe it as a full breath, soft body practice. Again, it starts at the base of the spine, the belly expands, the rib cage expands into the heart, the chest expands. Pull that energy all the way to the top. Keep pulling, keep pulling, keep pulling. Take an extra sip. Open mouth exhale, be dramatic. Ah. Bring it all the way down to the bottom and settle into a hold for 4, 3, 2, 1. In 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 4, 3, 2, 1. In 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 4, 3, 2, 1. Again, ride that breath from the base of the spine through the gills, through the heart space, all the way to the top of the head. Continue to pull. Can you feel the muscles of your lower back even expand? Can your canister get all the way full? And then to exhale, just take your foot off the gas and just give the breath back to the body to soften. To soften not just the body, but the muscles of the eyes, the jaw, the neck, shoulders, the rib cage, and allow your posture to soften and find a hold down at the bottom. And as you hold at the bottom, soften the belly, soften the pelvic floor. Just get as light as you can. When the breath does come back into you, just ride your own breath wave back up. Can you take it as full as possible? Feel that expansion. And then again, surrender. Soften. Full breath. Soft body. Meet me at the top of your next inhale. Pull it in. Extra sip in. Open mouth exhale, come out. Huberman, double nasal inhale in. Let it come down. Soften the body, let the shoulders soften. First one, belly rises. Second one, chest rises. Exhales through the mouth. It's soft, it's easy. Ride it all the way back to the soft body. So just finding your pace. And those inhales can even turn into 3 or 4, just to help you feel that full capacity. Again, we'll meet at the top of your next inhale. Pull it all the way in. Extra sip. Hold it here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Soften with the exhale. Again, soft body, soft belly. Come all the way to the hold at the bottom, and again, hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Allow the breath just to float back in nice and light. In and out through the nose as easy as possible. So part of what a breath practice can do is to restore proper diaphragmatic breathing and to slow our respiration down. Many of us are over breathing. And if you can just bring your breath to the point where it's about 5 seconds in and about 5 seconds out, you can really slow down your heart rate. Notice how your physiological state is, the way your energy is now versus about 5 minutes ago. Right? So you feel, how do you feel? You can come off mute, Coral.
Actually, just run about, but I'm definitely was running a little bit hot from it. So feel regrounded.
Feel regrounded. That's good, right? And so
That's
that
a
breath,
word, right?
regrounded. Yeah, exactly. Aligned. I like to look at it as alignment
Aligned.
a lot of
Good.
times, right? And that's what I mean by breath with conscious thought. A lot of times the word I get is clarity, present. I'm more calm. I'm more focused, right? And that's where breath work is maybe a little bit different than meditation. Is sometimes people have a hard time with meditation because they're told not to think, that they're thinking about thinking. And breath
Right.
work gives you something to do to get to that physiological state, and then you backdoor into a meditative state. And again, a 5-minute practice like that was really just designed to feel the breath wave. And then you can take it whether you need to upregulate and get ready for that next meeting, your training session, whatever it is. Or if it's going to be like a Sunday night, I'm going to take an ice bath tonight. I'm going to eat a big steak dinner. I'm going to keep leaning into this resting and nurturing on my body. I'm going to work on bringing those exhales in and slowing things down. And the rest of the night, I'm just going to breathe as slow and as low as I can. And if I do that, that's giving my nervous system like extra time to recover, cellular repair. If my heart rate's not high, there's not a lot of oxidative stress, it's easier and easier for me to recover from today's training session. I can sleep better because I do that. And that's really where you start habit stacking all of these healthy things for you. So the performance gains are really up to how much you can incorporate this into the habits that you're already doing, just to help you maximize those things and perform better in those little tasks throughout the day. Awesome. Cool.
Awesome.
I think we gave it a pretty good overview there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to turn off my recording. Hopefully that recorded. And it was. There we go. Pause, stop recording. So say bye, Coral.